Hey guys, Island Homesteader here. It's been a really long time since I made a video. Matter of fact, it's been since Justin and Rebecca, just a little bit after they left. And I just got to thinking about it a little while ago, and I realized, you know why? It's because I really let myself get disappointed with myself and really discouraged with the lack of progress, at least the way I see it, the lack of progress around here. So I finally just kicked myself in the butt and told myself I just need to get out and do it. You know, I mean, there's been a lot of good things going on around here. There's been a lot of things that I wanted to get done that I haven't got done. And I've found myself guilty of comparing myself to others. You know, I watch a lot of really great people on YouTube who have really great gardens, really great farms, great homesteads. And I just finally realized I can't compare myself to those. And it's not fair to myself to allow myself to compare to other people. You know, I'm who I am and they are who they are. There's a couple of channels that I watch that have really been encouraging. Of course, Justin and Rebecca and the rest of the family. You know, it's great to watch them. It's great to see the things they're doing. And you know what? They're not farming, they're not growing. Of course, we're all jealous of the Great American Farm Tour that they're able to go on, but they're just so encouraging, so uplifting, and I really appreciate that. And then the other channel that I've really got a lot from lately is Art and Bree's channel. They're friends of Justin and Rebecca's out in the Asheville, North Carolina area. And again, when it comes to encouraging and uplifting, that channel is fantastic. So if any of you aren't watching Art and Bree and you happen to watch mine, man, I highly recommend you search for Art and Bree. That's the name of their channel. And for those of you that are watching that have watched me for a long time, I really appreciate it. I go through a lot of ups and downs making videos. I'm not, you know, nowhere near regular making a video. And for those of you guys that have stuck around for a long time, I really appreciate it. There has been some stuff going on around here, and let me just take you around and show you some stuff, and then I'm going to try to get some stuff done today. And if I get time at the end of this video and there's enough light at the end of the day, I'll show you the progress that I've made. Some of the things I've done, for those guys that know, this year I'm growing everything in containers pretty much, because that's my garden. It's a converted gravel parking lot. When Justin and Rebecca were here, that's exactly where it was when they were here. That's how it's been left. I don't have a truck, so I can't haul wood chips to fill it, and trying to borrow one just hasn't worked out very well when the weather's been nice enough to do it. So like I said, I've just allowed myself to get really discouraged that I wasn't able to get that done and to get stuff moved out there. But in the meantime, I have managed to grow some stuff. These sweet peppers are probably the prettiest peppers I've ever grown in my entire life. And I'm growing them in these double buckets, very similar to what I'm sure most of you have seen on YouTube before. The top bucket has a net cup mounted in the bottom of the top bucket, and then the bottom bucket, there's overflow holes drilled just below the bottom level of the top bucket so that the water doesn't go up into the soil. And then it just wicks the water up through that net cup. And these peppers, man, these peppers are growing great. Like I said, these are just some of the prettiest peppers. Dark green leaves, beautiful, beautiful plants. Look at the peppers. Look at the peppers set inside there. This one's a yellow bell pepper. This one, the deer ate. I used to have them down there on the concrete by where the tomatoes were, and the deer ate them like the second night they were down there. They ate this one right down to a nub, and it's grown back really well. As a matter of fact, it's got a pepper on it in there. Look at this one. I'm going to talk about beautiful pepper plant, and look at the peppers this thing has set. These things are called gypsy peppers. They're supposed to be little small multi-colors of sweet pepper, like little lunchbox peppers. I'm just waiting for them to change into something besides this color. But I've got yellow bells, a couple of big Berthas, some red bells. Look at this, talking about red bells, look at this thing. That is probably the prettiest pepper I've ever grown. And all of the plants, they're just, look at the peppers back in there, they're just loaded. So this double bucket system, I am absolutely loving it, and we'll be growing a lot more in this kind of idea. Now, the thought behind this was, excuse me, I was going to use a master barrel, like a 55-gallon barrel to water from, and then I was going to use a float control bucket that would level the amount of water in all of these, and I just never got around to setting that up. So I just water through the top hole. I cut a 3-inch hole in the top like I cut for my net pots, and I just water through there until it comes out the overflow hole. These 5-gallon buckets that I've got eggplant growing in, and again, beautiful eggplants. I'm just digging these double 5-gallon bucket systems. These eggplants were always planted with the idea that it was just going to be in this bucket. So again, it's a double bucket. The top bucket's got a net cup in the bottom of it, and then I've drilled, you can see right here, there's the overflow, and that's just below the level of where the top bucket sets in this. So then these, I put these in here, so I just water down through here, and this goes all the way through to the bottom bucket. So I just water down through here until it comes out the overflow hole, and I know the bucket's full. So there's my eggplant growing in the buckets. It's doing great. Let's look around here. I did some things this year that I've never done before, and I am so far behind getting some of these, but I planted all my own cucumbers, squash, zucchini. I grew everything from seed myself this year. First time I've ever done that. And they're way, way past the time where they should be transplanted. A bunch of marigolds, okra, cucumbers, all kinds of things over here. And that was another thing I was getting discouraged. It was just so late for getting stuff planted. I just let myself get discouraged. But I just can't do that. And that's where I finally found myself. I planted herbs this year for the first time. That's chives, parsley, lavender, lemon balm. That was cilantro, but it went to seed just a few weeks after we got it. And then the basil's bolted, and it's flowering too. But you know, if you're letting yourself get discouraged because you're measuring yourself up against other people, that's just not healthy, and you're just never going to get anywhere that way. And like I said, that's where I was. So here's the potatoes. If you've seen my other videos, these were doing really great. I got attacked by tomato hornworm, and in about 2 days, when I wasn't able to get out here, they almost completely defoliated these potatoes. But since then, I give them a little extra fertilizer, and they're making a comeback. This one's looking really good, relieving itself. Relieving, that doesn't sound right, does it? The leaves are coming back out. I had 3 of them die. They were the Yukon Golds, so they're a little earlier, so they may just be done. I just need to empty the pots and see what the potatoes look like in them. But the other ones, the leaves are coming back out, and it looks like they may be doing all right. The tomatoes out here growing in the hybrid rain gutter grow system, they're doing really good. I just got out of here a couple of days ago and hard pruned them, suckered them. And they're doing great. They're growing some really good tomatoes. If anybody has ever grown these indigo blue tomatoes before, let me know when I know how they're ripe. These things have looked just about like this for a couple of weeks. They're still real hard. I thought maybe they'd get a little softer before they got ripe, but I don't know. Anyway, if you've ever grown them, let me know. Look at some of these things. Look at these Cherokee purples. Look at the size of that Cherokee purple. It's bigger than my hand. Look at that one. Beautiful Cherokee purples. Look at that clump of pink brandywines right there growing. Beautiful. So the tomatoes are doing all right this year. All different kinds here. Some cherries and some yellows and tomatoes everywhere you look. Cherry tomatoes in there. You can see some more back over through there on the other one. The plan is I'm going to build 2 more of these hybrid rain gutter grow systems. I'm going to set them right here on this empty part of the concrete. And in one of them I'm going to plant some zucchini, and then the other one's going to be my cucumbers. So you'll see video of that. I promise there'll be more videos now in the future. Like I said, I just had to kind of get over this slump. The compost system, you've seen that in previous videos. This one's now 3 boards full. I need to add some more boards and get in there. And the one thing I discovered in there is that I'm sure it's composting, but it's even better at being a black soldier fly larva farm, I guess. There's black soldier fly larvae all in there growing. So, and I don't think that's such a bad thing. But anyway, I've gotten over this slump. I just had to tell myself to just get over it and get out there and get some stuff done. So from now on, you'll see some more videos and more regular videos, and hopefully, you know what, I want to be more encouraging and more uplifting. That's the one thing, like I said, I really learned from Art and Bree. I want to be more encouraging and uplifting. So I encourage you right now, if you're in the same situation where I was, where you just really let yourself get discouraged because you're not making the progress you think you needed to make or wanted to make, you're not seeing the progress that you wanted to see, you know what, as long as you're doing something, then guess what, you're doing something. And if you are, man, you're doing more than probably 90% of the population out there, especially when it comes to growing your own food and stuff like that. 90% of the population just goes to the store and just gets it, probably. You know, I don't know what the real numbers are, but so if you're doing, even if you're growing a tomato plant on the balcony of your apartment, you're contributing more towards your own food supply than a majority of the people in this country. So if that's all you can do, then I encourage you to just do what you can do. Don't measure yourself against other people. Don't measure your progress against other people's progress, because everything you do is a positive move in the right direction. So let me just leave you with that. Hey guys, just wanted to give you an update since I shot the first part of this video. I have transplanted 3 squash pots. These are the pots that had the Yukon Gold potatoes in them. I dumped them out and all the potatoes were rotten. So if anybody has any idea, the only thing I'm thinking is maybe I'm waiting too long after the plant dies off to dump it out. So these, I'm not going to wait as long. These are Kennebec and Russet Burbank. They were planted the last part of March. So it's been April, May, June. It's been about 90 days on them now. It'll be 90 days at the end of this month. So I'm going to see. As soon as they start to die off, I'm just going to dump them out and see. I don't know if that's the problem, but all the Yukon Gold potatoes were rotten. So anyway, I dumped those out, and then I refreshed the soil in there a little bit with some more of my own compost and some potting mix and fertilizer. So I planted a 10-gallon pot of white bush scallop squash. These are Italian striped zucchini and yellow straight necks. And then I've got some more of each one of those that is going to go on that rail system over there that hopefully I will get built this weekend. I also planted up 4 pots each of Golden Beauty cassava melon, Tigger melon, and this is Waltham butternut. So there's 4 pots of each of those, and they're going to go in there whether I get it mulched or not. And they are going on these trellises. These are the trellises I had at the other house that were standing up straight. I just cut them off at the ground and put them here. There's 2 of them that are 8 foot long and 2 of them that are 10 foot long. So I'll just put them on their side out there. Maybe drive some T-posts if I can get them down through the gravel. Drive some T-posts on each end to secure them to, and then I'll let these things vine up on those trellises. I also got a few more things done. See what you can get done when you just go ahead and kick yourself in the rear end and tell yourself you just got to get going. I planted a 6-pack each of red okra. This is red burgundy okra or something like that. Burgundy okra, Aunt Hetty's red or something. I don't remember. I think the seeds came from So True Seeds in Asheville. And this is 3 pots of Clemson Spineless, regular green okra. So I got all that done. I also planted this wicking container. I thought it was all chard, Swiss chard that I had planted from seed, But then I looked at the numbers on the pot and looked at my list, and some of it's Detroit beet red, or Detroit red beets, whatever. Anyway, it's been a long day, and I got off a 36-hour EMS shift this morning. So there's some rainbow Swiss chard and Detroit beets, Detroit red beets planted in there as well. And then this wicking bed, I did this one the other day. This wicking container has watermelon radish in it, and I've got some of these already transplanted in the 4-inch pots. These are the squash and cucumbers on that end. That'll be going in that rail. This is a, let's see, this is a wildflower mix. This is, if anyone saw the links on Facebook for the Cheerios seeds, this is those. That's a whole tray full of marigolds that I planted, that I seeded myself, and this is another wildflower mix to go out front. So anyway, that's that. So again, just if you're in the same situation I was, and trying to get over, just feeling down on what you've done and whatever, just kick yourself in the butt. Tell yourself to get out there and do it, and you can get it done. Like I said, any little bit is progress. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Oh, one more thing. Somebody tell me what that bug is. If it'll focus. Is that a ladybug larva? Is that a ladybug larva? I know they look like the alligator when they're little babies, and then they turn into something else. So, somebody tell me if it'll focus. Come on, focus. Focus. Somebody tell me what that is. Alright, thanks guys. That's the only one I see on all these pepper plants. So, somebody lets me know what that is. I appreciate it. Alright guys, once again, thanks for watching, and God bless.